Metric Motorcycle Madness presents. Hey guys, Metric Motorcycle Madness here. Today we are working on the last phase of our Suzuki Savage project here. We've done a lot so far. We've rebuilt the forks, new fork seals, done new brake pads in front and rear. We put new tires, new tubes, rim strips. What else did we do? New rear directionals, a couple other odds and ends, solved a few problems. But we are on the final phase, and that is the engine, which, as you can see, we've removed from the frame. We'll probably be making a video for when we reassemble the engine into the frame. But for now, we're working on the mysterious oil leak. From previous videos, if you remember, we've replaced the cam chain adjuster with a modified version. And now what we're looking at is the untimely oil leak somewhere around the area of the head or something like that on the left side of the engine if you're sitting on the bike. We've removed it. We have it on a board here. So the first step we're going to be doing is removing the top cover or the valve cover. And for this, you're probably going to want air tools. This is not the impact driver, obviously. You shouldn't need the impact driver for these top bolts. They should be, you should be able to crack them off just with the socket. And of course you can do this with a socket all the way if you want, but it's much quicker removing some of these longer threaded bolts with an air wrench. After taking out two of these here already, one was barely even in there. It was about ready to fall out. So it's also important to remember with engines like these to recheck and retorque these bolts every 5 to 10,000 miles. And obviously nobody did on this, and this was at 9,500 because these bolts were about to walk out. Then again, it looks like somebody had rebuilt the head because obviously we saw the orange color gasket sealer here, which is not the original color. So anyways, we're going to remove the bolts here. My suggestion is you get a piece of cardboard, cut some holes in as you go, and then place your bolts in, because obviously these are different lengths. Some of them are different sizes. You want to remember where they go back to. So we're going to remove the bolt here, here, this one we're starting on, here, 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 I believe here. This one you do not want to remove. This, as it says in the climber manual, this attaches to one of the rocker arm secure points. So that stays on there, so make sure not to take that off. I believe this one comes off, and I'm not sure about this one. We'll see. I believe that attaches to a rocker arm spring unit there, it looks like. So we'll get those out, and then we'll come back. These are going to be 10 millimeter. And we can just take these off real nice and easy like this. With one of these. Nice and easy coming out. Alright, so we'll get these out. A few more things I want to mention. You also have two bolts on the inspection covers in there. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick. This head plug here, there's sealant around it. There's no reason, according to the manual, that should have sealant on it. That was one thing the manual said, and what I've heard from dealers tell me, you're not supposed to seal those. They should be able to seal on their own as they sit on the end of the camshaft. So using the air tool, we've removed all the bolts now, and again we left this one because that attaches to one of the mounting posts, I think, for the rocker. And we left this one. Obviously this attaches real close into here, into a plate. That stays there. Basically you're gonna find a, whoops, I want to tip this over, place to use a pry point. You should be very, very gentle. Remember, you can't place a screwdriver or anything inside these fins and just bend up with them. So find somewhere that's very easy to get to, and this should pry up fairly easily. That's gonna come out. And here we go. This is gonna lift off. Now, what in the hell? Here's one thing I'm also going to talk on about this Suzuki Savage. One of the fatal flaws in the design is this, I don't know what you want to call it, head plug, I guess. And this plugs the engine from internally here, oil ports, and keeps it from running down in between here, down near the exhaust. Now, I've been told that, I don't know if they're still doing this at the factory, but when they made these bikes new, that they didn't properly seal these things. They just shoved them in there. That's not proper. So, you're supposed to take, I think it's, whatever the sealant is you use for the rest of this, it's like 1219 3-bond or something like that, number 1219. I can't find that anywhere on the internet for sale. So we're probably going to end up using Permatex 599 or whatever we can find that's going to be similar. And just looking at that, it's probably been sealed, but I think that's also in addition leaking. So that's not our culprit, but I think that's one issue. And of course, since we're going to take this apart, that's going to have to be replaced anyways. Looking at this, they definitely sealed this. So our next step is going to be to take off the side cover and remove the cam chain tensioner. Actually, before we get much farther, so we can start removing the cam and get the head off and the rest of it. All right.